What's up guys, Chris here again with another Eden Zero manga chapter review. And if you did not see my Fortnite the Apocalypse video, behold, I've updated my avatar for the channel, and I really hope you guys like it. Once I rebranded the channel to The Greek Weeb, I have been trying to make a new avatar, and I've been meaning to create a new avatar for a while. So my friend actually created this one for me, and I am really happy with how it turned out. It looks amazing, and I really hope you guys enjoy this new avatar art style and image. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. On with a recap of the previous chapters of the Eden Zero manga. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. That way I know that you guys enjoy watching this content, so I can keep at it every single week, and so I can be inspired to make more Eden Zero content in the future, as well as it's showing that you guys really do enjoy me making this content. You hitting subscribe and liking the video and even commenting shows interest in these videos, which will help YouTube's algorithm promote this channel and the videos here so I can keep growing my audience. But without further ado, let's get into the quick recap. So in chapters 137 and 138 of the Eden Zero manga, we saw the Eden Zero crew and the Oasis rebel army team up to take out a bunch of these rebel soldiers as they begin to gain each other's trust, and even seeing Goodwin's views on war and its ideologies, as well as his view of the Empire in general, insight into Nero's Emperor Dice, which basically, instead of just telling him the future, basically lays out a path for him, so it'll end with him being victorious. And we also get to see that Shura is on Nero Planet 66, waiting for Z to show up in the next 3 days, where the high tide is supposed to come and the all-link system is supposed to be set up. However, Eraser, one of the Interstellar Union Army's members of the Eurasian States Interstellar, manages to get to Nero Planet 66 before his allies Justice and Jaguar were meant to meet him there. And now a battle between Shura and Eraser is getting ready to commence. And with that, that concludes the recap. Now on to chapter 139 of Eden Zero, White Flash. And before we get into this, I like this little cover page that basically shows the location of all the major players in Eden Zero at this point for this arc. Shura is on Nero 66 with Eraser about to confront him. Jaguar and Justice are on their way. Shiki and Goodwin and their groups are right on Sandra, and are ready to head to where they need to go. Nero is on Nero Planet 1, the temple, saying that he will do nothing, obviously. Ziggy and Elsie are actually nowhere to be seen. It's very possible that they are just waiting for the all-link system to happen, or Elsie is just waiting for the perfect time to strike and take down Ziggy. And I like how our narrator, Helmea, is basically the one on top, saying the battle will now begin. So, let's start this chapter. Chapter 139, White Flash. We begin on the airspace above Nero 66 as we see 250 of Eraser's soldier ships confronting 3,200 of Shura's ships. So yes, they are very obviously outnumbered, as we actually get Justice and Jaguar are basically communicating with Eraser on why he has gone there before them, that he really shouldn't do anything until they get there. Eraser being like it's their own damn fault for being so slow, and Justice acting like he's all hot shit and in command says that he didn't say anything, he said not to do anything until he said so. Well, Eraser just straight up says how the Interstellar Ration States works. There isn't a chain of command. They all have their own authority to make their own judgments and do whatever the hell they want. So they can do whatever the hell they want. They can go wherever they want. They don't have to answer to anyone higher up. They are the higher ups of the Union Army to an extent, and they each have their own authority. So that's very interesting to know. They're the 6 strongest members of their army. They're the commanders, and they don't really have to listen to each other to make their own decisions, which is honestly pretty miraculous on how they've made decisions as an entire galactic government. There could be someone above them, but when it comes to stuff like this, very possible that they cannot really do anything or something. But anyway, Justice is telling him that he's about to fight one of the biggest organizations in the Irrational States Galactica, and hell, Eraser is straight up underestimating Shura. He says that he's not fighting Nero himself, but just his punk of a kid. And that besides, he's not scared of a member of the Galactica he's not the scariest member of the Galactica that he knows of. So I like how they're basically going over some tactics, because Jaguar's asking the size of Shura's fleet, and Eraser just casually says that it's 10 times the size of his fleet, and that he has no way of knowing if there are any other ships waiting on the planet's surface. He says that not to worry, okay, because he'll have them all erased before Justice and Jaguar gets there. We cut to the planet's surface as Shura and his secretary Ijura manage to get to the command center as they are basically discussing what's going on with the White Flash Eraser. We see the command center, the general telling him the situation, as Shura just says nonchalantly just to shoot them all down and stuff. So it's obviously not taking this very seriously, basically seeing himself as the more powerful force, and is not taking anything seriously. So now the battle begins in a huge ass space brawl, and I have to say I am kind of liking this laser confrontation between a small amount of ships against a whole freaking fleet. So I have to admit, this is a pretty nice battle sequence. It reminds me of how some space anime portray their battles, and it's not bad. We get to see ships getting blown up and stuff. We get to see the aftermath, aftershocks, etc. As we get status reports from other members of Eraser's group saying that too many of them are being taken down, with Eraser saying, "Don't be scared, I'll cut us a path." As everything keeps going on, Shura just sits in his chair giggling like a schoolgirl, being like, "Oh, this is awesome, it's wonderful," and asking how many of them are dying. The general says that they're getting casualties too, but the eradication of Eraser's army is only a matter of time, as he glances on to Ijuna, as he basically says that this is the command center, saying that His Highness is questioning what he's going to say next, just as consort shouldn't, and before that, Shura says that Ijuna is a secretary and it's not a problem. The general says, but she used to be, and then Shura just uses his gravity powers, hoisting him up in the air, all Star Wars Darth Vader Force style, crushing his neck, saying that I said she's my secretary, stating, basically showing us a bit more into his mindset, saying, "Who the hell do you think you are?" As this man is pleading for his life, that his daughter's wedding is next week, Shura says that he doesn't give a damn, stating that he's just a grunt. Grunts are supposed to shut up and do what they're told. And straight out says, "You want me to show you what happens to people who insult the ruler of the Aoi Cosmos." As even though he's technically the prince, he's not really the ruler, but it shows that he sees himself being the ruler of the Aoi Cosmos very soon, as it straight up looks like he just exploded the man, blood gushing everywhere, much to the shock of his troops. As he says that Mr. White Flash is going to get this too, and that the show doesn't have enough fireworks, stating that don't we have like some kind of big ass battleship to just shoot them all down? As the troops in the command center are just horrifyingly agreeing to him and setting everything up right now. So as the battle in space continues, we see a giant Kraken class cruiser, which is one of the Empire's capital ships, and with all the tentacle like lasers all shooting and erasing and destroying almost half, possibly even more of Eraser's troops. Shura is just being like all giddy as usual, saying that 42, and as we know, 42 ships got wiped out in an instant. But Eraser says that we see that Eraser isn't some emotionless guy who is only in it for himself. He actually cares about his comrades. It shows regret, and that it shows regret and also anger of what's going on, saying that he's sorry for his fallen comrades. But his ether is now fully charged, saying that now it's his turn, as he is right on top of his ship in dead space. So is it possible that so I like the design, because we actually get to see he has something around his neck which could possibly be something that can help him breathe in space. As he appears up, he waves his hand, and as we see white rays of light swipe across this battleship, as it seems to be erased, like literally gone. Thanos snapped away, much to the shock of all of the enemy soldiers, saying that it was ripped apart. And Eraser continues to do this to every single ship he sees in his way. The Kraken disappeared, and they keep losing more and more ships. as Shura is just curious now, with Eraser stating that he will erase everything that stands in his way. There's far too much dust on the canvas. As we then cut to Shiki and the Eden Zero crew heading towards Planet 66. So, from what we can tell, because Goodwin says in their transmission that the government started a shootout with Shura's fleet on Narrow 66, and that they didn't really ask for their help, they'll take it. And that now they have a chance to get through the defenses and onto the planet's surface, and that they'll beat Shura and destroy the all-link system, as Goodwin asks one more time if Shiki and the rest of the crew will come with him, with Shiki nodding yes, that they'll fight together, and that they'll protect the Alley Cosmos and save the androids, commanding the Eden Zero to head out at full speed. That is how the chapter ends. So it's looking like we're not getting two separate battles at this point, because from all we know, right now, the battle that is supposed to happen on the day of high tide has been accelerated thanks to Eraser. And this could actually have helped Shiki and his crew, because from what we were thinking and what they were saying, it was very possible that Shiki and the crew were going to go and fight Nero himself on the core planet. But now it seems that they're prioritizing taking down All Link first, before the high tide. So what I see is, with how Eraser is erasing all of, basically the majority of Shura's group and landing onto the surface, it's very possible that they might do a team up, since Eraser can do his own judgment calls on right off the bat, and if he sees that having the help of the Eden Zero crew and the Rebel Army can help his chances of beating Shura and destroying the All Link, then he might actually accept it. He doesn't seem like as irrational as Justice is when it comes to other people who may possibly be in cahoots with someone that he deems as a criminal. If they have the same goal, I really hope that Eraser just accepts their help, and this could actually lead to a pretty nice 2-on-1 battle. However, I like that Justice and Jaguar, two more members of the Irrational States Interstellar, are on their way to Narrow 66, while Ziggy and Elsie are nowhere to be seen. So with how this plays out, obviously Eraser is going to land on the surface and start a full-on assault against Shura, the Ocean 6, and basically have an all-out brawl with the Eden Zero crew and the Oasis army possibly joining into the all-out battle. Now, how this will play out is similar to how I said just now, with Shiki and the crew teaming up with Eraser, since Eraser seems to be more of a laid-back person all in all, and not super enthusiastic about justice or as prideful about it. So he might just accept whatever help he can to make this go by a lot quicker and easier. However, what I see could happen is this could go on for a little while as we get Ziggy showing up somewhere off planet. The very possibility is that maybe we will have some fights off of 66. Since there are 3 days to the high tide, we might see 2 or 3 separate battles. I'm thinking 2 separate battles at this point, and the 2 very strong possibilities are Elsie might have found Ziggy right before he was heading to Planet 66, and they're having a battle while Shura and Eraser are having theirs, while Shiki and his group are heading there as well. So we could have an offset battle with Ziggy's crew and Elsie's crew, an all-out fight, possibly with Jaguar and Justice splitting up. Justice obviously going after Elsie, and Jaguar going with Eraser to take down Shura. Or it's very possible that Elsie is heading to 66 to help out Shiki and possibly thinking that this is what Ziggy would do. Justice and Jaguar heading to 66 as well, since that's where they were originally going. But Ziggy might actually be thinking one step ahead, because he wants Nero's entire empire and to destroy all organic life with the all-link system to make all the droids go crazy and kill all the humans. So it's very possible that Ziggy might actually go to Nero Planet 1. He might go and fight Nero himself. You know, 2 old friends having a huge confrontation. We can see Nero go and freaking fight Ziggy, see how strong Ziggy is at this point, and maybe have it end with Ziggy actually basically crushing fate with his gravity, having the force of his own gravity being something to basically bypass Emperor Dice's abilities, and overcoming the future that has Nero winning. And then Ziggy going to 66 at the end of the fight, where it's seemingly Shiki and Shura facing off, for all we know. But yeah, those are my thoughts on what could possibly happen. What were yours? Leave them down in the comments down below. What did you think of this chapter? Was it good? Was it bad? How do you think this arc will play out? What do you think? What matchups do you think will happen now? Let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for updates on future videos. I really do appreciate the interactions and views for these episodes, and I will continue to keep doing these videos as the channel progresses. With all that said and done, I hope you guys have an awesome day.